Welcome back to basically week two of this, and or at least what I'm calling episode two. Episode two of this is going to be in at least 3 videos. What I want to do is I'm not going to focus too much on some of the text part of that particular chapter, and this was chapter 2. By the way, I got an iPad here with the textbook on it. So if you see me looking over here, it's me looking at the textbook. But what I did want to do is I want to sort of address this idea of algorithms and flowcharting and kind of take the examples in the book and go maybe even a little bit beyond those examples. So what I'm saying in the book, of course, I believe if we go to links here, and we will see that the book is sitting right there. It's in the bookshelf. Again, you may have a printed copy of it. I was already logged in, so thankfully it remembered that. And so what we're talking about here is chapter 2, right? So let's just go over here and look at chapter 2. All right. So, okay, I don't need that anymore. Bye-bye. All right. So chapter 2, that seems excessively big, but I can't seem to figure out how to get it smaller. Feel free if you guys ever figure this stuff out to let me know. But when I talked already about sort of what an algorithm was, an algorithm really is pretty darn close to a recipe. It's a series of steps, right? A series of steps. And so it says here, clearly specified mathematical process of computation. I'm not sure I agree with mathematical, but sure, it's a series. It's basically a series of steps. And so one of the examples in this chapter was this idea of making toast, right? Of basically making toast. And so what I want to do here is sort of go from this example, ultimately, I guess, through to the pseudocode, but really get to the point of coding this, right? So, and I sort of want to demonstrate this in the context of both the flowcharting using the tools that we're using, and then I also want to demonstrate this. In this case, I'm going to demonstrate this by idle. Now, what I would encourage you strongly to do as we start to do some coding examples is you should have some opportunities to pause the video and make sure you catch up, because this first program is going to be obviously pretty simple. There's going to be some other programs coming up, and I'm going to try not to surprise you. You know, like, surprise! Here's this piece of syntax. I'm going to try and highlight that, but there's going to be some moments for sure that you're probably going to miss something. So you're going to want to basically make sure you pause, look at the screen, and follow along. Very much like a musical instrument, or even math for that matter. Watching someone code is not really going to help you learn code. It's much better to learn how to code by coding. All right, but before we learn how to code, there was an example in this particular chapter about making toast. And the problem it was trying to solve, I think, is that you're hungry. You know, what's the cause? I can't remember what the cause was, but this was the solution, was to basically make some toast. So believe it or not, there is actually a graphical way. Well, look at that, by the way. That's where we're going. But I guess what I want to do is I want to get rid of all that. Get rid of all my hard work. Anyway, there's a graphical way to represent logic as it flows through. And it's not a bad deal, especially at the beginning stages of your lives, to sort of imagine, like, what does the algorithm look like? What are the steps in the algorithm? And we had in the textbook, we kind of had the steps, and I can copy them. Yay. Or can I copy them? I'm not sure I can copy them. Okay, but it doesn't matter. So this is how I would diagram this. What I would do is I would, first of all, that link I should have quickly made a point of saying there's one way to do it, the free drawing tool. Here's another free drawing way to figure it out. So by all means, you know, have fun. Have fun with the two. I'm going to basically focus on this one. Some recent students of mine actually got me going on this one, and I'm kind of testing it out, to be honest. So you guys are kind of guinea pigs. But if you look here, when I went there, I don't think I've even logged on anywhere. I don't think there's any login information here. So it is pretty open. It gives you the ability to save your stuff, and I'll kind of show that off too. But anyway, so there's an actual flow chart area. So this is just your standard kind of drawing stuff. But here's an actual flowchart area, and there are some symbols that kind of are pretty universal. This one here, you'll notice when I hover over it, it says start. So I'm going to bring start over, and what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to type the word start. And that's basically the beginning of our little process, right? You know, we're just about to go and make some toast. We're going to start to make some toast. And so we get the start, and all of your processes will also have an end. So we have an end. And right now, this is not particularly useful, this thing. End, start, and end. Great. And so somewhere in here would be, oh, no, forget it. I was going to go and do something else. Why would I do that? There's basically a start and an end. Good deal, right? Now, the other box, the other symbol set, I should say, is this guy here. Now, this one, it says data, which I get. I get why it says data. You may notice back when we were looking at this process in the textbook, that symbol tends to mean input. And I would recognize that as input. And so when we look at making toast, there's going to be input to the process, and the toast itself will be the output to the process. And so those are two symbols that we're going to want to keep. And then this itself is the process, the square of, you know, one of the various steps. Okay, one of the various steps to making toast. And then what's really cool here is that you can actually, if you hover your mouse over, you can connect them like that. All right. And so this free little graphical tool, I've done sort of the beginnings anyway of a flow chart. So I tell you what, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to that, the steps of making toast. All right. Now, the book mentions pseudocode. At this point, because we don't know how to code, pseudocode is kind of all we have, right? You'll notice that this looks very Englishy, very Englishly. As we start moving forward in time and we start thinking about some processes and the code behind those processes, you'll see that pseudocode becomes more valuable. At this point, realistically, there's almost no difference between pseudocode and the actual code that we'll be doing. But it looks like we got to get a slice of wheat bread. Yeah, this is the wheat bread one. Okay, get a slice of wheat bread. So I'm just going to say here, get bread. Get bread. Good deal. Okay, and that's one of the inputs. Now at this point, putting the bread into the toaster, pushing the toaster level, waiting for the toast to pop up, and getting toast. Getting toast is probably the output, right? At this point now, we have our little toast. That's coming out of the process. So get toast, maybe even eat toast, but whatever, get toast. Cool beans. And then they look to be identified by our analysis of this process. We've got three particular processes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this guy down. I'm going to move this guy down, and I'm going to take this thing and get that first one, which is put bread in toaster. Okay, so put bread in toaster, and I can shrink this a little bit, right? And you know what? Copy paste is awesome. Copy paste, paste. So now I got two other guys. I'll just move them over. And then one was put push toaster lever, push toaster lever. All right. And then this guy here was wait for toast to pop up. Okay. Wait for toast to pop up. All right. So and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just put them sort of in their spots right there. Nice. Let's not do that. Let's do, no, again, thank you very much. I want to move the whole thing over. Good deal. This guy here is going to go and connect to this. This is going to connect to this. This is going to connect to this. And now what I've got Oh my, that's awesome. Just 1 second. Are you connected? I don't know if you're connected. I don't think, there you are. Now you're connected. Now I'm going to move up. And you seem to, oh, and there's the end. All right, good deal. All right, so that is a flow chart of this particular process. And I think this is probably a good time to end this video before something else crazy happens. And then I'm going to pick up with the next video on how to actually code this process. So we'll see you then.